Hello, welcome to London Waterloo. Well, we're on Train Sim Classic, and although Train Sim World and Train Sim World 5 is the main go-to game nowadays, there are just some things that are possible on Train Sim Classic that just aren't possible yet on Train Sim World, and this is one of those things. London Waterloo, and we're going to be taking the train to Wimbledon. Now we're going to go to Wimbledon mainline station, and then we're going to then carry on the journey on the district line to Southfields. So I'll pause the game, and we're in the venerable old class 455, which is always a treat. I must admit I was quite relieved to find, actually, I was looking at this in advance of making this video actually, and pleased to find that actually they aren't quite heading for the Knackers Yard just yet. They are still going to be in operation. I thought this year might perhaps be the last year, but the good news is they might be around for a little bit of time yet. I'm just waiting for this to come on, and then we need two Juliet 07, and then the signal I've already checked on this is 001, so that's easy enough. So we'll get some headlights on, hopefully. Yeah, and we also need to try and get the display on. I'm not going to bother with the blind on the right hand side, partly because I can't remember how you do it, but this is a Hampton Court service, and if I'd remembered to press S7 we'd have probably got there a bit quicker. I think basically I've done that completely back to front, haven't I? But I don't know what it is about these old 455s, but I still enjoy riding on them. Again, it's that feeling of the old British Rail Engineering Limited Brel. I think we are supposed to be actually driver only, but I actually like the interaction with the guard, because that's something generally you don't get on most train sim world routes. Let's get a bit of window open as well, try and take in the sound, because it's quite slow going out of Waterloo to begin with. Vauxhall is our first stop. It's probably quicker if you're going to Wimbledon, actually, from central London. You're more likely to, if you're going to the tennis anyway, you're more likely to actually just get the district line. But I thought this was a bit more of a little fun ride. So it's only going to take about half an hour or so, I think, all told. There'll be a little bit of time whilst we load up the district line for the second run, but only a couple of stops there. It'll be Wimbledon, Wimbledon Park, and then Southfields, and we will actually go past the park as well, where if you're going to join the queue, either to go in for a day pass or you're going to camp overnight to try and get centre court, number 1 court tickets, number 2 court tickets, then you would camp in the park. And it's something I've done quite a few times over the years, myself and my brother, and we very much enjoyed doing it as well, seeing all the top players over the years. But There's something magical about Wimbledon fortnight for me. It's a special time. Just something quintessentially English about it. It's an amazing place to spend the day. I almost felt as though we should have started this video with the BBC tennis theme tune, but sadly, sort of copyright and licensing reasons, we can't do that. We do have the sound pack installed. I mean, it's the Class 455 enhancement pack from Armstrong Powerhouse, but we've also got the sound mod and the expansion pack of Sam TSM, I think he's called, and I think he's done this in conjunction with Yowie as well, so that adds something to it as well. Because I have to say, out of all the Armstrong Powerhouse packs that came out, the 455 one just felt as though it wasn't quite as polished and as detailed as some of the stuff that came out. So quick stop at Vauxhall. It's good to see all the key London buildings in the skyline. Of course, you've got all the what is it? Is it MI? I always get mixed up. Is it MI5 or MI6? I should be able to remember. And then over on this side, of course, you've got the oval cricket ground, which you can just about glimpse. The Kennington Oval. It's probably got some sponsorship name now. And I'm sure if you're a regular on this route, you'll be shouting at me and saying you should have this in driver only mode and not have the guard buzzing back to you, but it's just something I quite like to do. I know many of you, myself included, would love to see a route out of Waterloo on Train Sim World. I mean, it could be one for Train Sim World 6, who knows? My feeling is perhaps it's not top list in terms of priorities, but we'll see. We are heading towards Clapham Junction. So of course this is a Hampton Court service, and we could take it all the way to Hampton Court, but just trying to fit in this idea of taking you to the Wimbledon Tennis Championships. And we'll have a quick look at Wimbledon Park when we get to Southfields, and we'll have a quick look at Google Earth as well, and you can kind of compare and recognise that actually it's quite nicely done. And these 455s very much modelled out of the Mark III body shell, which was kind of a new example in terms of strengthness at the time, and I think certainly the Mark IIIs have stood the test of the time when there has been crashes. That's good, isn't it? Southern train from Victoria going over us. I find it fascinating actually that the southern lines on the left to Victoria, there's no actual physical connection between this line from Waterloo and the southern lines. Completely separate, not even a little siding in between the two. Get a little bit of brake on, preparation for the 50, which is just before the station, although ironically the speed actually goes up to 60 if we're going non-stop through the platforms. It is a little bit jittery. Of course, you can see there's plenty of stock coming in and out. It's quite nicely done, this particular scenario with Southwest and stuff. You even spied a 378 in the distance on a overground service, which should be going to Wilston Junction, possibly to Stratford. We do have Clapham Junction, of course, in Train Sim World, and that's on the London Brighton route. But again, of course, the problem with that is we are completely missing the Southwest Trains, or Southwestern Railway, as we should call them now, services. Just savour the stuff coming through all the time. And nice to see a couple of, well, I say a couple, 4 Southern 377s as well in the background. Quite an early morning work in this. I mean, if you were going for a day pass at Wimbledon, you probably want to be on the first train really a bit earlier than this. If you're going to camp for the queue, then perhaps it doesn't matter because you're going to be there for the whole day. I mean, people have kind of said, you know, how can you stand in the queue for the whole day and be and camp overnight? But it's not really like that. It's actually really fun, chilled out day, and it's like a proper camping experience. You can set your tent out, and there's always a great atmosphere. There's people from all over the world, and just the whole area is just absolutely buzzing. And it's the same with any major championship as well. I mean, I've been to some World Cups over the years as well, and it's just that terrific sort of excitement. So we are stopping at Earlsfield. Always feel driving the 455 that it's you know, although these things are supposed to be pretty good accelerators, it doesn't feel like that. It always feels a little bit sluggish. Now visually from the outside, you could say straight away very similar to the Sprinter. Built at Brell in York, as I recall. Not to be confused as well with the Pet family, which are not dissimilar in appearance, but you know, you're talking about there the, you know, the sort of the 313s, 314s, 315s, 507s, the 508s. But they are a little bit different. Been a little bit generous in terms of the braking, because you'd want to be entering the platforms about 30 mile an hour, but I think I applied the brakes a little bit too early. One or two variations of these 455s as well in terms of external appearance. I mean, some people might say the South Western Railway liveries slightly garish, I suppose, but I don't know, I've always quite liked it. Nothing subtle about it, I know. So we haven't got distant scenery here, but it helps in terms of the frame rate performance. This is actually a modified version of the route that's available from Alan Thompson Simulation. And they've added in the line to Alton as well. Oh, you saw a 707 in the background as well. I think I'm right in saying they're all out of commission in terms of South Western Railways. I think they're all in the hands of Southeastern now, aren't they? Now, I was hoping to kind of time-wise do a bit of a link scenario so that we're heading out from Wimbledon on the district line about a similar time, but I've tried using RW tools and just seemed to be playing up a little bit. It wasn't plain ball anyway, that was for sure. When I changed the time, it just wasn't working. Never used to be a problem, that. Hope I've got the sound levels about right as well. Oh, I can see it. District line train in the background. I was going to say, when we get to Wimbledon mainline station, it'll be interesting to see if there is any other district line trains in the platform. Yeah, that's good to see that actually entering the station at the same time. You've got the busy scene as well with the yard, and you've got the flyover as well if we're going in the other direction. And you've got the Art Deco signal box as we come in. So just a short hop in terms of the journey to Wimbledon on the mainline platforms. I think you can see we've got some tube stuff in there as well. In fact, we have a train leaving us as well. Oh, we've got a 455, not 455, 450 coming through. I like that. London to Brighton, another way to travel. I'm not sure they'd be advertising that necessarily here at Wimbledon, but yeah, good to see Wimbledon station itself looking so full. There's a real distinction in terms of you come out of into the ticketing area, and of course you have to go a different way through another barrier to get through to the tube trains. Okay, so that's the first part then, and then we need to load up the district line now. So I'll just type in WIM because the coding doesn't work quite so well. Here we go. So we're going to do a Wimbledon to Edgware Road service. And it's another very, very nice route actually, the backdated train sim district line. I'm only going to go a couple of stops on it though. There it is. So we've got no destination display on there at the front at the moment. So let's get our master key in. Set it into Tripcock mode. And while we're thinking about it, let's put the dead man's handle into that position. So we've got a few bits and bobs in terms of the numbering. I don't know the actual duty number, so we'll make that up. Call it 236. And again, I don't think the handheld number really matters, but they said 13355 in the instructions. We'll call it 236 again. Now, the next bit though is quite crucial, 25, because this will give us the correct appearance on the front, I think. Okay, it says Aldgate there, but of course this is basically a Metline thing. So yeah, there we go. Edgware Road district line. That will do us. We should hopefully have an announcement in the game as well. A few moments before the off time.
Wimbledon Park. This is a district line train to Edgware Road.
The door's closed. The thing to emphasise as well, if you get into the Wimbledon tennis, is it's not best to get off at Wimbledon Park. I mean, it sounds as though that is the obvious place to get off, but it's quite a distance actually from Wimbledon Park. Southfields is the place that you do want to alight. Great term that, isn't it? Alight. Soon get the nod to increase speed to 45 miles an hour. You do see there's one or two services, I believe, early in the morning. I think Jeff Marshall covered it in a video that actually use these tracks, National Rail services that is. Might even be only one train a day or something, but it's a very rare sight. And I think this scenario is based on a slightly older period, so as you can see, you've got some of the old tube stock in evidence. There's the depot again on the right, the flyover.
The next station is Wimbledon Park.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
We'll try and maintain sort of speed as best we can, because you're supposed to. It always feels as though they come flying into the platforms and just stop at the exact last moment, don't they? But of course, it's the skill of the driver.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
This is Wimbledon Park.
And if we were carrying on this journey, you can see after Southfields you've got Putney Bridge, Parsons Green,
The next
Fulham
station
Broadway,
is
West Brompton,
Southfields.
Earls Court,
This is a District Line train
District
to
Kensington,
Edgware
Notting Hill
Road.
Gate, Bayswater, Paddington, Edgware Road, which I think we have covered in other videos in the past. Again, nice detail with the stations, and I have to say a lot of the scenery is very, very reminiscent of London. So not all that far to go now to Southfields. So if you were coming for the tennis, I think you'd be very, very excited at this point. And this is Wimbledon Park. This would be this is where you would go camping. And nice that that's represented in the background. Remember if I've got the latest. I'm sure I've got the latest version of this route installed. The ballast looks a little bit on the bright side. I always find it difficult with Train Sim Classic. You either
is Southfields.
have it looking too dark or too light. So here we are at Southfields. Of course, if you were kind of coming in from central London, you'd be coming from the opposite direction.
This is Southfields.
Mind the gap.
So what we're kind of going to demonstrate is, I mean, you can see those shops in the background there.
The next station is East Putney. This is a District Line train to Edgware Road.
So that's it as far as the game is concerned. So let's just quit the game and have a look at it from the Google Earth point of view, and you kind of see those. I like those flat shops there, and I probably didn't show you very well really the station building, but it's actually quite nicely modelled. So you kind of come out of there, you walk along here, and always brimming with excitement, and there's a really vibrant atmosphere. So you have the park here on the left, which is where you go camping. I mean, it looks tiny there actually, but it's quite a big area. That's where the famous Wimbledon queue is. That's where you would be sleeping overnight if you were camping for show court tickets. And then you carry on along here. Sadly, this bit isn't actually in the game, but you can then see the famous Wimbledon courts, and you've kind of got centre court, number 1 court clearly in evidence there. See all the outside courts as well. That's Google Earth anyway. Well, it was only a quick video today, but as I said, for me, Wimbledon fortnight is just a fantastic fortnight. I absolutely enjoy watching it, and it's always been a great sort of period. You know, we're at the height of summer. It's a lovely time, and there's always plenty of entertaining tennis as well. And it's kind of one of those things, I think I'm typical of a lot of people who will watch tennis a lot during Wimbledon fortnight, but then not really for the rest of the year. Well, as I'm recording this, the roadmap is coming out the next day, but by the time you're watching this video, it will have already been out. So be interesting to find out what's there. So let me know in the comments or in the chat and what your thoughts are. And of course, we're all waiting for the Class 86 pack to come out as well. I've just watched the Just Trains preview on that. That looks very, very exciting. So that's it from me for now. Powerflower Trains and Planes. And if you've enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe. If you consider doing that, I'd be really grateful and really appreciate the ongoing support. So until next time, from me, it's goodbye.